Our brains are amazing. They think about problems, tell body parts to move, tell the stomach how to digest, figure out what we see, taste, smell, and touch. They are the boss of the body. Hi guys, today we'll be talking about how the brain works. The brain is the most fascinating part of the human body. Not much to look at. It resembles a spongy mass of tissue. Feels like tofu. Weighs roughly 4 tubs of butter. Our brain is actually made up of mostly water and about 10% fat. While our brain only makes up approximately 2% of entire body's weight, it uses a massive 20% of the body's energy. The brain's basic building blocks are known as neurons, and we have around 100 billion of these, each with between 1000 to 10,000 connections to the other neurons, creating neural pathways or roads within the brain. There are literally trillions of neural connections within the brain. Similar to a city's electrical power grid, information is passed along the road through a series of chemical messages and electrical impulses. As all of this activity takes place, our brain generates between 10 to 25 watts of power, enough to power a light bulb. Over the course of one day, your brain generates more electrical impulses from firing neurons than all of the telephones in the world. So really, your brain isn't just a spongy mass of tissue, it's the most complex organ, a power station that connects your every thought, movement, and feeling. And it's firing right now. Cognition has to do with how a person understands the world and acts in it. It is a set of mental abilities or processes that are part of nearly every human action while we are awake. Cognitive abilities are brain-based skills we need to carry out any task from the simplest to the most complex. They are more to do with the mechanisms of how we learn, remember, problem solve, and pay attention, rather than with any actual knowledge. Perception is the organization, identification, and interpretation of sensory information in order to represent and understand the environment. Perception can be split into two processes. Firstly, processing sensory input, which transforms this low-level information to high-level information. Secondly, processing which is connected with a person's concepts and expectations and selective mechanisms that influence perception. Mental representation is a mental imagery of things that are not actually present to the senses. Mental representations enable representing things that have been never experienced as well as things that do not exist. Think of yourself traveling to a place you have never visited before, or having a third arm. These things have either never happened or are impossible and do not exist. Yet our brain and mental imagery allows us to imagine them. Attention depends on a system that generates self-directed and self-organizing activity. Techniques for guiding attention are by color or alerting techniques, such as flashing or audio. Memory constraints are different information that can be processed at different levels, from shallow analysis to deep semantic analysis. More meaningful items are more deeply processed or remembered. Examples of meaningful items are meaningful interfaces and meaningful icons. Knowledge is stored in memory in a highly organized fashion. It usually takes the mind a fraction of a second to answer some questions, such as what is the capital of Paris or who is the president of United States. Knowledge is a familiarity, awareness, or understanding of someone or something, such as facts, information, descriptions, or skills which is acquired through experience or education by perceiving, discovering, or learning. Knowledge can refer to a theoretical or practical understanding of a subject. Mental models are psychological representations of real, hypothetical, or imaginary situations. The theory of mental models rests on simple principles, and it extends in a natural way to inferring probabilities, to decision making, and to recursive reasoning about other people's reasoning. We can summarize the theory in terms of its principal predictions, which have all been corroborated experimentally.